Hi, we're the Arnolds, and we've been attending Generations for about 1.5 years now. We've known Christ for a while, but we never really have had Christ as the center of our lives. Before we moved to Florida, in Colorado, there was a saying kind of in our town was, "The mountain is our church." And while we never really said that out loud, we definitely our lives reflected that.
Yeah.
And
we were in love with the world and all of its pleasures.
yeah, and place of where Christ would be is adventure, fun, and alcohol, and that it almost cost us our marriage. We moved to Florida. We were isolated for I don't know, probably about 1 year of just being alone. I think
A couple of years. And
more alone than we've ever been.
Right. I think that God had to sober us up for a minute so that we could figure out how to do life over, because we were prioritizing other things.
We started coming to Generations, like I said, about 1.5 years ago. And immediately when we came here, we just felt welcome and we felt the connection, and were able to make friends almost immediately.
Yeah. We knew it was a place where we could serve.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids, when the kids are at the point now where it's like, we're going to church, right?
Yeah.
Like they're telling us, and they want to stay for the second service.
Yeah.
And
It's definitely become our home.
so our son got sick, and there is nothing in the world that will humble you like your child being sick or hurt. Mm-hmm. That was my come to Jesus moment, where I just surrendered all. I went into prayer like no other. We at the time, we really had isolated ourselves to get ourselves sober. So we were alone. And we reached out to one family right after we got the diagnosis and said, "Come over, like, please don't let us go through this on our own. Our family's on the other side of the country, and we can't do this one on our own." Mm-hmm. It was a few months of just what was the scariest information you could get. My son wasn't able to go to school. He was at home. He wouldn't get off the couch. He didn't want to play anymore. I mean, this kid that was healthy and normal all of a sudden wasn't.
And very active.
And we just dove into the church, and we would come. I mean, me and Sonny, like, we'd try to get out of the house, and then he'd say, "Why?" And then we'd cry, and I'd say, "We need to pray. We're going to pray. We're going to go to the church, and we're going to pray. Somebody's going to be there, and somebody's going to pray with us." And they did that. Mm-hmm. And I went to mom's group. I started with mom's group, and my table prayed with me, and you started the men's group.
Yeah. James 5:14, tells us if any of us are sick, assemble the elders, anoint him with oil, and pray over him, and the prayers of the faithful will heal him. And it was just perfect timing when Johnny announced that they were going to have an anointing. We knew we needed to be there, and we brought him down there.
He was in pain. He was in pain and tears, and we were sitting in the nursing room, and he was crying, and the line was long, and there were lights and sounds and all the things that were just. He was so afraid to even get out of his shell, and we said, "No, you've got to wait. We got to get prayer."
Yep.
And we got to the front, and the elders prayed with him.
And they anointed him, and we prayed, and then we reached out to our family, and they reached out to their friends, and
so many people prayed all across the country, like peace beyond understanding. That's what someone prayed over us, and I started praying it, and like there was this point of which I just knew it was going to be okay, because I had peace. Yeah. I knew I was being carried through all of it because it was so ugly and so scary.
And then October came for our return visit, and we met with the neurosurgeon and got another MRI done, and
He was comparing the images on a diagnosis that doesn't just get better.
The room after he got the images and says, or it can get better. And he showed us.
And I looked at the nurse and I was like, we've been praying. And she said, if you've been praying, then you know what happened. And I was like, whoa, like I didn't even, that wasn't on the table. Healing wasn't even on the table for us. And he was better. Like he was better. He was better. And it's not even a conversation in our house right now. Like
the kid today is not the same kid a year ago.
Oh yeah.
He's active again. He's playing. He's making friends. You know, in August we enrolled both our kids in GCA, and we've just seen miraculous growth, just a biblical growth in them, spiritual growth in them.
Whole life changed. I just feel like I've learned so much about the power of prayer. I want them to like know, like when life hits you, like you can turn to prayer and it can change everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's like just really driving home that power of prayer.
Yeah.
We're the Arnolds, and this is our time.